Hey, this is Robert Simon, founder of the Justice Team and Justice HQ. And today I'm providing you the top 10 survival tips for law firms during COVID-19. The first one that I have for you is, number one, civility amongst the defense bar. And here's what I mean. We have to keep this industry moving. The people that are the pioneers, the people that will survive, are the ones that are going to work together to make sure that we have access to the courtrooms. We see the court systems as a referee. They're there to handle disputes. They're there to make final decisions if you need be, if you can't come to an agreement. So why can't we work out these agreements amongst ourselves? We have to reach out to the defense bar. Talk to your leadership of your local bars. On both sides, they should be able to come together with some simple resolutions because we have to keep cases moving forward. So here's a simple solution. Number one, electronic service by mail. Mandate it. No more hard mail, no more personal service. Come to an agreement by stipulation with the defense. All service by electronic mail is totally okay. There are certain rules in California. So there's a California Rule of Court 2.251C that talks about electronic service by mail. As long as both parties stipulate to it, you're totally okay. That's number one. Number two is virtual depositions. Here's what I mean. In the state of California, you're looking at California Code of Civil Procedure 2025.310. That one says that a non-party can have a remote deposition where the deposition officer does not need to be there. You can have the oath administered remotely. But it says in there that unless there's a stipulation, a party has to be there with the deposition officer in person to be sworn in. We don't want that. Work with the other side, come to a stipulation in order to have a remote total virtual deposition. It's very easy. You can click a link from the court reporter. There's several court reporting companies that have this solution now. We work with KW Court Reporting Services in Irvine. We work with Steno in Los Angeles. There's a company called Rakico. All of these companies are available for you to be able to do these virtual depositions where you get a link, you send it to the other side, they send it to their deponent or their expert. Seamless. All you have to do is pre-mark your exhibits. Everybody will see them. It'll be like a Zoom or RingCentral meeting. Everybody's in. We got to keep our practice moving for both sides to keep this industry moving. The practices that are survive are going to be those that evolve. This is all going to be virtual. Many of the courtroom companies are offering their services almost for free for some of these remote depositions. Please take advantage of them because we have to be able to keep these cases moving forward. Let's go to tip number three. Remote scan and sort. This is something that our firm did a few years ago because we thought about what would happen during a national disaster or things that were beyond our control where employees cannot be there to scan our mail or to do things. There's a remote scan and sort solution. Many third-party companies exist out there to be able to go to a third-party place so your employees are not touching the mail. You're not coming in contact with any viruses. It's being scanned, OCR directly to your mailbox, your case management software. A lot of these companies, we do it as well where they can actually deposit your checks for you. You don't even have to go to the bank anymore if you set the solution up the right way. Contact me at robert@justiceteam.com, or better yet, contact my brother, Brad at justiceteam.com. He will be able to, or I'll be able to, tell you some of these vendors that we use as solutions to have an effective law practice so your employees are not touching the mail. You have an efficient solution so the next day the mail comes in, it goes directly to where you need it to go. That is tip number three. Tip number four is the use of chat rooms. This is what I call stay connected. We still have to be constantly learning as lawyers or any profession. We have to be feeding the energy off of each other. If we're not there in person, well, how are we going to be able to do that? Something we've been doing for years is using other solutions such as Slack, such as WhatsApp, where we have chat rooms specifically for cases, for trial lawyers, for litigation lawyers, probate lawyers, whatever it may be. We have several high-level lawyers on the same platform answering questions in real time. It could be things about social events. It could be things such as remote gaming. It could be something as simple as, let's do a meditation service together. It can be as informative of what do we do in this crisis. We're sharing real-time information that's coming from governor's office to members and to other people, lawyers at our firm via Slack and WhatsApp in real time, so people are constantly informed because we're not going to be in the same space without being 6 feet away from each other for quite some time. Tip number five is what I call remote case collaboration. We used to be doing all of these in conference rooms, talking about cases, roundtabling them. Well, now it has to be virtual. And we've been doing this for a long time, but now people can do it sitting on their couches at their homes with their family. There are simple solutions out there right now that I encourage everybody to sign up for and use. Number one is Zoom. Zoom is a platform that allows you to have an interface meeting by video. You can showcase documents, you can talk cases. The other one is RingCentral. We use both of these solutions. to be able to bring all of our lawyers together to have a big case collaboration. We do it specific for cases. I also do it for all the members at Justice HQ so that we can talk in real time what's going on with their cases, provide feedback, mentorship, and a sense of community so that we can continue to push these cases forward and continue to give our clients access to the courtrooms, even though that they may be closed. Tip number 6 is more of a practical one for us consumer lawyers that are representing people, not corporations or insurance companies, to be able to resolve these cases. We may be in a point right now where money's more useful to our clients now than it will be 6 months or a year from now because they need it. So why not reach out and try to resolve these cases? We do a case audit on all of our cases to find out if these cases are ripe to be able to resolve, send out statutory offers to compromise, along with a letter that says, hey, this is our bottom line. If you do not pay it, we'll be taking this to trial whenever the courtrooms open back up. In the state of California, it's CCP 998, statutory offer to compromise, that you get all of your prejudgment interest and costs when you have that judgment later. Those do have teeth to them, even though the courts may be closed and not hearing your trials. We don't know when they will open, but you should be sending out those demand letters. You should be wording them as nicely as possible, as candidly as possible. Everybody's in this crisis together, and see if you can actually reach a resolution for a lot of your clients now to help them get through these tough times in case there are catastrophic events such as layoffs and things like that. We owe a duty to our clients now to try to get them resolved. You do need client consent before you send out any such demand letters or statutory offer to compromise. So that is tip number 6, is resolving your cases if you can. Tip number 7 is virtual assistance or outsourcing your work. I think we should be outsourcing more than we do. We should be finding specialists in different areas. Virtual assistants, people that have already set up their offices to be remote. Lawyers that have already set up their offices to be remote. So you can send them a link with your case file. They can review it, write motions for you. You can ping your assistant to review the medical records that you had electronically scanned for you from your mail solution. Go to your virtual assistant or your virtual lawyer that you have on a contract basis, and then they can combine all of these efforts together to write your demand letters, do your medical summaries, do your deposition summaries, so everybody can sit at home, have a quality of life with their family, still be able to practice law. So that is tip number 7. Tip number 8 is staying mentally and physically fit. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot lose sight of this. We have to keep our bodies and our minds in shape. How are we able to do that? Well, for 8A, podcasts. We have one called the Justice Team Podcast, where you're still giving information on how to have virtual offices, on how to practice law, things you do not have to leave your house to be able to do. You have to be continually educated. That's to stay mentally sharp. 8B is physically fit. There's a lot of on-demand access workouts we use at our firm, and I do personally, one called Fit On. These are things that you can actually watch at home from your phone, from your computer, that are completely free, or some of them have a nominal price, to be able to stay in shape. We have to stay healthy, not only for our families, but for our clients, but for our profession and our community. So that is tip number 8. Tip number 9 is co-working space. Now, what do I mean by co-working space? I mean, don't we have social distancing, 6 feet, can't have more than 10 people together in the same room? Yes, that's true. So how do we use co-working spaces in order to survive the pandemic? Well, if we look around us right now, there's gonna be many offices that are completely empty. So we have to find a solution where we can have all of our resources pulled together to have these efficient solutions in one co-working space married with technology. You have to look for these spaces that provide the mail scan and sort as part of your co-working space, so you don't have to touch mail, it goes electronically, virtually to you, that have these chat rooms there virtually for you, to have all of these other solutions, community, access to these Fit On apps, all of these things married together with one co-working space. These are solutions that we provided at Justice HQ that will be able to show members and lawyers and law firms how to survive the pandemic, and not only survive, but also thrive during these uncertain times. Ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to look towards solutions of technology to be able to work from home, be able to have all of your staff, your firm stay together, to find different areas to resource and retool some of those employees in different avenues. If they can't be in the office every day, there's something else that they can be doing to help you work virtually. Maybe it's as simple as naming and labeling documents that you get from your mail scan and sort to go into your electronic system. These are solutions we built out at my firm, the Justice Team, and the Justice HQ platform that hopefully will have you be able to survive this, to be able to thrive and be able to service your community and clients with complete efficiency and not missing a single step. All right, we're there. Tip number 10. Tip number 10 is optimism. I know that sounds silly, but I believe in the power of positive thought. The more that we're able to know that we are going to get through this, the more we're able to band together as a tribe and be able to constantly tell one another that we will survive, that we will thrive. That is the power of optimism. As long as we're moving the wheel forward in all of our practices, finding these solutions to be able to push our cases forward, have access to the courtroom, and staying positive about it, we will be able to lead by example to show the other industries how we, the legal profession, are marrying technology to work virtually. Even though some of the courtrooms may be closed, our cases are not closed, our offices are not closed, our clients are not closed. So ladies and gentlemen, I encourage all of you to stay positive. I hope this is a time to inspire one another, to find out, what are things that are important to us? Are we enjoying these times home and we should with our families to be able to spend more time with them? We should find this as a big silver lining so that we can band together. We will come through on the other side. We need to lean on each other, find these solutions. They're all out there. Talk to our mentors, talk to our leadership to make sure we come through on the other side, and we will. These are 10 simple solutions. You can access me at any time. Like I said, robert@justiceteam.com. I'm here and open to it because we need to make sure that this entire industry survives because it is very important to the community and everyone around it. So thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this was helpful. Maybe I could do more of these if you guys have any other questions for me, but let's push forward.